Done many hours of vegan activism, but not just vegan activism out in public on the streets, but out in public on the streets as ZmanTheVegan, a vegan superhero. And whenever I'm doing activism, usually I hold a sign that says, being vegan is a moral obligation, change my mind. But if I'm not sitting there holding that sign and talking to people about it, then I have that sign next to me and I'm playing my music, which has a vegan message in it 90% of the time. And I've had plenty of experiences with haters. Very rarely is it just one hater. Usually it's groups of people. And usually what the haters are, or what they say and what they do, is passive aggressive stuff where they're walking by laughing, saying, we're gonna go eat a burger. Or just laughing and like, hey, it's the Green Lantern, like passively aggressively trying to like get under my skin. And you know, I'm glad I've experienced that so much, because like I've gotten to the point where I actually enjoy those interactions, because over 90% of the time the way that I deal with it turns it into something that's great, because usually what I do is I'll stay respectful to the people and I'll just talk with a confident voice like, hey, how's it going, y'all? And then they'll say something and then I'll try to be witty and say it back, but not like make them feel defensive, or like I'm not trying to make them feel like I'm attacking them. I talk to them with respect, like they're a human being. And usually whenever you do that with a certain amount of confidence, and especially if you make a joke and certain people like laugh at it, whenever they were trying to laugh at you and they start laughing with you, then it changes the whole tone. And then usually they'll like start saying other things and sometimes even apologize. And yeah, it's great. Honestly, I love it. I love turning those situations where people are walking up, they're being an asshole, and then they expect me to react to it, and they expect to get under my skin. But then they become surprised by how much it doesn't get under my skin and how much I still have respect for them. And then they start to, you know, have respect back at me, and then we start to actually talk to each other like we're human beings. And yeah, it's great. There's been other times where like individuals have come up, and some of them it seems like, I don't know, they just don't like me, like they just don't like the way my face looks. Like they just had that type of vibe where it's just like, it's not even just that I'm talking about veganism. I think one guy just didn't like me just because I dressed up as a superhero, and he was talking to me for a couple of minutes, but like the whole time a certain tone, he's looking at me like, what are you doing? Like basically what he was saying passively, like he didn't directly say it to me, he was asking me questions and just kind of like batting an eye at me like, are you sure? But basically it seemed like he was just saying like, I have no skill, I'm not an artist, I shouldn't be doing music, and I shouldn't be wearing a superhero costume just to get attention because my music is bad, since I can't get attention that way. And yeah, there's not much I can do with that guy. I mean, I'm trying to be respectful to the guy and talk to him like a human being, but it's like he doesn't believe any word I say. He doesn't even know who I am, why I'm up there, how many years I've been doing it, but he just had that type of vibe. I saw him a couple times, but I just stayed respectful, and I'm pretty sure the more I see him, if I do see him again, he'll understand. But even if he doesn't, whatever, doesn't really matter. I know why I'm out there. I know how much it means to me. I know how it feels whenever I'm hitting a high note and strumming on my guitar and singing about what I believe in. I don't need anybody else to, feel good about what I do. And all I gotta do is just keep staying respectful, and doesn't matter if he thinks it's fake or not. And yeah, so a couple times haters have come up while I'm doing vegan activism, or not necessarily haters, I would say in this sense, just people trying to challenge the vegan activism, but most of the time they are haters, and they have a lot of just rage, or just like this very tense, like they come up, they're all stiff, they stand there for a second, they don't acknowledge me, but they know that they're gonna talk to me, they have that face on, and then they start talking, but they don't believe a word I say. It's basically one-sided, because everything that I say is, and you know, all I can do is try to hear their side as much as possible, and then just try to say my side without seeming like I'm trying to brainwash them or force them into doing anything. And that usually works out too, because usually once you get into those conversations and they might be constantly like aggressive or trying to pick at me and make me feel defensive, but whenever I stick my ground, just stick to saying what I believe in, but in a respectful way, eventually we'll go in circles, and then they'll figure out like, okay, yeah, they'll realize that they don't have to be so closed up and so like much of an asshole. Because I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just out there talking about what I believe in, what I think is right, and I'm willing to hear the other side and talk to people about why they think I'm wrong, and talk about science and talk about sources and the animals and what they're going through. And yeah, so I've dealt with a lot of haters, and usually my technique is just staying respectful, confident, respectful, listening. I try to listen very intensely. Tell me what you have to say. I try to listen very intensely. Whatever. I listen. You listen to what they have to say, and then I just tell them what I honestly think as respectfully as I can. There was one time, and I might do it again because it's fun and it might get a good reaction. It might be a good video, but I do question it because it's not dark, but it just kind of puts off a certain energy. There's one time whenever I went the other direction. I was playing music downtown, and these two like young college kids, maybe they were 19 or something, I don't know, but they were disrespectful. I was just picking up my stuff, I was putting away my music gear and about to head out, and these two guys walk up and they're saying like mean stuff to me, like I don't know, I forget exactly what it was. It was something about eating animals, something about something else, and then something about him pleasing my girlfriend because I don't have meat or something. It was some joke like that. And I don't have a girlfriend. I didn't have a girlfriend, but in the moment I felt like feeding off of what he said, and I went a little crazy because I turned my idea. I had this idea before I even went to street perform that day, and so I brought a carrot with me inside my pocket, and I told myself I'm going to switch over to crazy man if someone is an asshole and it's the right timing. And for those of you that don't know, so there's Z-Man. I'm a vegan superhero stage persona whenever I perform, but in some of my videos you'll also see Crazy Man, which is like the darker half of Z-Man. There's like, he's the preachy vegan. He wants to force people to be vegan. He will shove carrots up their asses like vegan suppositories. And yeah, so I switched over to Crazy Man, and that's how I responded to these two teenagers, because I was just being quiet and like letting them say the things as I'm packing up, and then they said the thing about my girlfriend, my non-existent girlfriend, and so I switched. It was actually kind of funny because I switched, and then I looked up at them like psychotically, like, and then I switched my voice, and then I reached into my pocket, and then I said something like, I'm gonna take this carrot and shove it up your ass like a goddamn vegan suppository. Like I switched. It was sorry. It was acting. It was acting. I think I scared them whenever I did that, because their eyes, and they started to back away, and they're like, whoa, and then right after I said that voice, I'm like, wait, I'm joking. I do have a carrot though, but I'm joking. It was a joke. And they kind of laughed, but then one of them actually like bent over, like, all right, come on, do it, like. And sometimes I think using that, like, that character to scare assholes, it can make good content, but other times it'll probably just scare people, might even upset them, might even start a fight, might cause more violence, might cause more harm. So if I ever become Crazy Man and start reacting to the haters like that, it has to be very intentional and like very planned out, or just done right, because there's a lot that can go wrong with that. You can make dogs bark at you and scare them. I'm sorry, doggies. They're good now. But yeah, so that's not how I usually deal with haters. I did that one time. Usually respect, confidence in the voice. Hello, I respect you even though we disagree. Dogs, you're not vegan. Anyway, thanks for watching. How do you deal with haters? Do you scream at them? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Thanks for watching. For the animals! Woo!